What you're about to see will destroy everything you think about judgment and appearances. This man saved 12 lives in Vietnam. Today, he was dying alone in the rain, until 200 angels from hell showed up. If this story doesn't move you to tears, I'll pay for your lunch. Hit that notification bell now because you're going to want to see the ending. This is Robert Thompson, 67 years old, Vietnam veteran. And for 3 years, this cold bridge has been his only home. But Robert's story didn't start here. It started in 1971, when he was just 19 years old and was forced to choose between dying or killing to protect his brothers. Look into this kid's eyes and tell me you could have done what he did. Vietnam, 1971. Robert wasn't a hero by choice. He became a hero by necessity. In a single operation, he carried 12 wounded soldiers to safety under enemy fire for 6 consecutive hours. But look what society did to this hero. Forgot him. Abandoned him. Discarded him. When Robert returned from Vietnam, he didn't come back whole. Severe PTSD. Nightmares every night. Flashbacks that made him relive the horror repeatedly. Job after job. Rejected. You seem unstable, they said. The same man who saved 12 lives couldn't even get a job at McDonald's. And you know what's more revolting? The same politicians who sent him to war denied his pension for lack of proper documentation. Wait, because the story gets much worse before it becomes impossible to believe. Eviction. 2020. Divorce. His wife couldn't bear to see the man she loved being destroyed by war memories anymore. And then came the final blow. His only son cut contact. I can't do this anymore, Dad. You need to help yourself. For 3 years, Robert slept in the same place. Rain, sun, snow, storms, always there. Invisible to the world. People walked past him like he was urban furniture. Some threw coins. Most simply ignored him. But on the night of November 15th, everything was about to change. And when you discover who found Robert, you won't believe it. November 15th, 11:47 p.m. The worst storm of the year. 50 miles per hour winds. Temperature, 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Robert was dying. Severe hypothermia. He could barely keep his eyes open. This would be his last day. And then, through the storm, an unmistakable roar. A Harley-Davidson. Marcus Steele Rodriguez, 45 years old. Vice President of the local Hells Angels chapter. Tattoos covering 80% of his body. 6 feet 6 inches tall. 265 pounds of pure muscle. Exactly the type of person you'd cross the street to avoid. Right. Marcus saw Robert and something in his chest tightened. Because Marcus also knew what it was like to be judged by appearance. Hey, buddy, are you okay? The gentlest voice Robert had heard in 3 years. Robert could barely speak. His lips were blue. But he managed to whisper, "Please, let me die in peace." Stop and imagine. You're dying alone in the rain and a stranger stops to help you. Hit like if this moves you. And then Marcus saw something that changed everything. The dog tags hanging around Robert's neck. U.S. Army, Vietnam 1971 to 1973. Marcus froze. Because Marcus's father was also a Vietnam veteran. And Marcus knew exactly how the war had destroyed his father. What Marcus did next will break your heart, but in a beautiful way. Marcus didn't hesitate for a second. He took off his own leather jacket, wrapped Robert in it, and took him to his house. For 3 days, Marcus cared for Robert like he was his own father. And during those 3 days, Robert told his story. Every word Robert spoke, every sacrifice he had made, every betrayal he suffered from the system burned Marcus's soul. And on the 3rd night, Marcus made a decision that would change everything. He grabbed his phone, opened the Hells Angels WhatsApp group, and typed a message that exploded the group. "Brothers, I need all of you. No. I found a Vietnam veteran who saved 12 lives in the war. Society abandoned him. He's dying alone. We're not going to let this happen. Who's with me?" In 30 seconds, 47 responses. In 5 minutes, 127 brothers confirming attendance. "I'm in," No veteran left behind. When and where? I'll bring my sons to help. This is our purpose. But what happened in the next 6 hours was so impossible that even I had trouble believing it. Marcus didn't stop there. He called construction companies, building materials, architects, electricians, plumbers. And you know what happened when they learned it was for a veteran? All donated their services. For free. For a war hero. Don't even think about paying. If you're getting emotional about this brotherhood, like now, because the most incredible part is still coming. At 6 a.m., Marcus posted a location in the group. An empty lot that a Hells Angels member had donated. The message was simple. 7 a.m. We're going to build a house for our veteran brother. Bring your tools and your hearts. And then something happened that not even Hollywood would dare to imagine. 6:50 a.m. The lot was empty. Silent. In 10 minutes, this would change forever. 7 a.m. Right on time. From the horizon came the sound that gives me chills to this day. 1 bike. Then 2. Then 5. Then an avalanche of steel and leather. 200 Harley-Davidsons. 200. Arriving in perfect formation. Like an army, but an army of angels. And they didn't come alone. Material trucks. Cranes. Concrete mixers. Even a food truck company to make sure no one worked hungry. 200 men. Covered in tattoos. Wearing leather. With appearances that would intimidate anyone. But with hearts of pure gold. Marcus climbed on a crate and shouted, "Brothers! Today we're not just a club. Today we're a family building a home for someone who protected our freedom." 200 fists rose into the air. 200 voices shouted in unison, "Hurrah! Semper Fi! No brother left behind." Pause this video and like now if this scene gave you chills. Because what comes next is impossible. And then the miracle began. 8 a.m. Foundation. 10 a.m. Walls. 12 p.m. Roof. 2 p.m. Electrical. 4 p.m. Plumbing. 6 p.m. Finishing. A complete house. In 10 hours. 2 bedrooms. Living room. Equipped kitchen. Bathroom with hot shower. Central heating. Even a porch for Robert to watch the sunset. But wait. The most emotional surprise was still to come. Because while some built, others went shopping. Furniture. Appliances. Clothes. Food for 6 months. Everything new. Everything paid for by the Hells Angels themselves. And on the kitchen table, they left something that would make Robert cry for hours. A photo album with pictures of every Vietnam veteran they could find and a message. "Robert, you're not alone anymore. You have 200 brothers now. And we will never abandon you. Welcome to the family. Your Hells Angels." 6:30 p.m. The house was ready. But Robert still didn't know anything. Marcus returned home where Robert waited. "Robert, I need to show you something." Robert thought he was being kicked out. After all, 3 days was already too generous. During the trip, Robert saw something strange. Hundreds of motorcycles parked. Must be some biker event, he thought. And then Marcus stopped the car. "Robert, this is your new home." Robert looked at the house. Then at Marcus. Then at the house again. "Marcus, I think you stopped at the wrong place." Marcus jingled the keys in front of Robert. "No, my brother. This house is yours. Built in one day by 200 angels who believe heroes deserve to have a home." Robert got out of the car like he was dreaming. His legs were shaking. His hands were shaking. His heart was exploding. And then he saw it. 200 men forming an honor corridor to the door of his house. His house. Every step Robert took was a victory over abandonment. Every look he received was a promise that he would never be alone again. If you're not crying now, you have a heart of stone. Like if this scene moved you. Marcus placed the keys in Robert's trembling hand. "Welcome home, brother." And then Robert collapsed. 3 years of pain, 3 years of abandonment, 3 years of invisibility coming out in the form of tears. 200 men who had never been seen crying cried along with Robert, because they understood that this moment was sacred. For 10 minutes, 200 Hell's Angels hugged a 67-year-old veteran like he was the father some never had and the son some lost in war. Robert opened the door. Furnished house. Full refrigerator. Clothes in the closet. Heating on. And on the table, the veteran album. He opened the album and saw faces of dozens of veterans, each with a story of sacrifice, each honored by this brotherhood of angels. And that night, for the first time in 3 years, Robert slept in a warm bed knowing he was no longer alone. Today, 6 months later, Robert is no longer the broken man we found under the bridge. He smiles. He has purpose. He has a family. Every Sunday, 20 or 30 angels show up at his house for a barbecue. Every day, someone stops by to see if he needs anything. He will never be alone again. And you know what's most beautiful? Robert now helps the Hell's Angels find other abandoned veterans. They've already built 12 houses. 12. This makes me think, how many Roberts exist in your city? How many forgotten heroes sleeping in the cold, waiting for someone, anyone, to see their humanity? In the United States, there are more than 40,000 veterans experiencing homelessness. Men and women who risked everything so you could sleep safely. Listen, if this story changed something in you, if it made you see that we judge people by their appearance, if it showed you that angels exist where we least expect them, I need you to do 4 things right now. First, like this video. Not for the count, but because I need to know that stories like this still matter to people. Second, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. Because I find these real stories of people who restore our faith in humanity every week. Third, share this video. Send it to that person you know who needs to see that miracles still exist in the world. And fourth, the next time you see someone experiencing homelessness, remember Robert. Remember that behind the appearance, there might be a hero waiting for someone to see their dignity. Because that's what we do here at Shadows of Dignity. We show that loyalty runs deeper than appearances, and that everyone deserves a second chance. And if you want to see another impossible story, in the next video I tell how a 50-year-old biker saved 30 children from an orphanage fire and what happened when the town discovered his dark past. Like, subscribe, hit the bell and share now. Because stories like this need to be told. And the world needs to know that real angels sometimes wear leather and ride Harleys. Until the next story that will destroy your prejudices.